Netflix successfully acquired Warner Bros. Discovery in an $83 billion deal that marked a seismic shift in Hollywood's landscape, culminating a dramatic bidding war that began in September 2025. The acquisition saga began with David Ellison, the 42-year-old son of billionaire Larry Ellison, pursuing Warner Bros. Discovery after completing his $8 billion Paramount acquisition in August 2025. Ellison spent more than a year pursuing the legendary studio behind films such as The Godfather, in a process marked by legal battles, executive upheaval, and political controversy, and was making his fourth multi-billion-dollar bid since September. However, Warner Bros. CEO David Zaslav bristled at the approaches and essentially put a for sale sign on the company and began to actively pursue suitors, attracting Netflix and Comcast as competing bidders. The auction operated under the codename Project Sterling, with Netflix assigned the alias Noble, Paramount as Prince, and Comcast as Charm. Netflix appeared to be playing down its interest initially. Co-CEO Greg Peters told a Bloomberg conference in October that we come from a deep heritage of being builders rather than buyers, adding that big media mergers don't have an amazing track record. Many observers were skeptical of Netflix's commitment, with some people close to Netflix believing it was primarily using the process as a rare opportunity to scrutinize Warner Bros. Operations, particularly HBO. The compressed auction timeline proved crucial. Warner imposed an extraordinarily compressed timetable, giving bidders days to revise terms that would typically take weeks. The final offers were due on Monday morning, with the board working through near-daily emergency meetings, all-night rafting sessions, and a Thanksgiving weekend of tough negotiations. Netflix ultimately won because it was the only bidder whose paperwork was fully executable when the board voted Thursday night. Minutes after the vote, the contracts were signed, with Netflix having spent 10 consecutive days addressing every request, tightening covenants, and agreeing a $5.8 billion break fee, among the largest on record. Netflix is financing the acquisition through a combination of cash and stock, with the deal requiring significant debt financing. Under the terms, WBD investors will receive $23.3 in cash and $4.5 worth of Netflix shares for each WBD share. The cash portion is being funded through one of the largest bridge loans in corporate history, a $59 billion facility led by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo committed to stump up half of a $59 billion bridge loan to Netflix for WBD, making it one of the largest bridge loans offered to a company to finance an acquisition, and Wells's biggest to date. BNP Paribas committed $20.7 billion, and HSBC provided just under $9 billion. This bridge loan will eventually be replaced with longer-term financing. Netflix plans a $25 billion unsecured bond offering, $20 billion in new loan facilities, and $5 billion new revolving credit facility. CFO Spencer Neumann acknowledges the deal would increase indebtedness, but committed to maintaining a healthy balance sheet and Netflix's solid investment-grade credit ratings. The deal transforms Netflix into the dominant player in Hollywood, giving it control of some of the crown jewels of the entertainment business. The Warner Bros. Studio, including the Harry Potter, Batman, and DC Comics franchises, HBO, still the envy of the television industry, with hits including Game of Thrones, The White Lotus, and The Sopranos, and Warner's own top-tier streaming service, HBO Max. Netflix expects the deal to close in 12 to 18 months, though people close to U.S. regulators said the process could last longer, as the transaction is expected to face serious antitrust hurdles. Operationally, Zaslav could retain operational control of Warner even after Netflix takes over. Netflix has also promised to keep cinema releases for films made by Warner Bros. The strategic rationale centers or content needs. New productions accounted for under 5% of the total content on the platform last year, but generated more than a fifth of what was watched, making Warner Bros.' production infrastructure and IP particularly appealing. Netflix covets WBD's intellectual property, including franchises like Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Friends, and The Sopranos, similar to how it turned the Dusty Addams Family brand, which it licenses from current owner Amazon, into the hit show Wednesday. However, challenges remain, as big media deals have a dismissal history, and this is Netflix's first transaction of stature. Do you think this is a great move for Netflix and the future of streaming? Let us know in the comments. Follow us for more updates and stories about corporate finance and finance in general.